Colby, yes. Okay. I'm so excited to answer your question because it's a really good one and it lets me talk about my entire game. Your questions were, what was your biggest move you made every week throughout this entire game? So best believe this video is gonna be long. Um, Number two, how do you get your weave done? Is it expensive? What color? It's about $20 to get my haircut. It's brown. It's very nice. This isn't really a question, but I literally want you to dissect whoever in final two. So basically, dissect Mikey's game and why mine was better. I'll do that after I'm done explaining mine. Do you think you're as famous as me? No one's as famous as Beans. Come on. Okay, so biggest moves throughout my game. I wrote like 2 pages. So week 1 through 4 were kind of. That's when I was Lexi. They were kind of. Yeah, they were. I didn't really do much. I started playing both sides of the house. I had two alliances: the Pretty Gang, which was me, Cole, Grace, Eli, Jade, and then KLOL, which was Christina, Leah, Owen, and Lexi. Um, Basically, what I wanted to do was since um, Lexi was a newbie, didn't think she had much of a chance getting into a predetermined alliance, which I was wrong because it ended up being that Leah knew Lexi in real life because it's a girl that Kyle went to high school with, and Leah and Kyle went to the same high school. So it ended up working out, but I was forced into an alliance with Leah, which I didn't really want. I knew that she would be mad when I came in as Dan because I would have had to lie to her in real life and gameplay should never mix. Um, but I really tried to be a social floater, so I aligned myself with both sides of the house in order to try to turn people against each other, um, which kind of worked because I kind of ruined Grace's game a little bit, and it worked out because she was Saboteur. So um, week that was week 1 through 4. Not much really happened. We were just being a floater, trying to be as nice to everybody as nice to everyone as we could, because we knew if we were nice to everyone, the chances of them forgiving us for being part of a twist was much higher. Um, week 5 through 7 is kind of like the crucial point of my game, up and leading into week 8. Week 5 was Operation Ditch Leah and Owen. When Kyle and I came in and we knew that we had immunity, we knew that one of them had to leave soon because people were going to assume that we were working together, and that was sort of the case, but we didn't want it to be the case. Um, I started going around the house and campaigning against them a lot, just like telling people they were good at the game and that they were playing all sides of the house and whatever, which wasn't really true, but um, I tried on week 5 to backdoor Leah, try to get into Adam's ear, but Adam, like right away, submitted his replacement nominee. And I had this big long thing about how Leah's going to control this game if we don't get her out. She's going to align with Owen and they're going to be unstoppable. And it was so beautifully written, and I wish I could have sent it, but I asked him if he had made replacement, and he already had. So that was that. Trying to save Josh also happened in week 5. It kind of took me by surprise because Josh came to me and apologized for personal things, and like I really liked that, and I accepted them, and I apologized for whatever I did, and I told him that I would try to get him to vote. So I went around the house trying to get people to see the light and realize that Owen was not really um, a good person to take along in this game, and Leah also. So I knew that if I kept Josh around, he would go after them. So that's why I saved Josh that week, and that's why I lied to Cole and hold on, let me look at the wiki. That's why I lied to Cole and Rebecca and evicted them because I wanted to keep Josh around because I knew that he would go after them, and I wasn't sure because I thought Rebecca was close to Owen from talking to her, and I knew Cole was close to Leah. So that's kind of why I did that. Then I kind of got myself in hot water because I was talking to Roy and I didn't realize that Roy and Owen were close. So Roy asked Owen all these things, like if they were true about Roy being a target of theirs and all this stuff, and it came down hard on me. But somehow, somehow I got my way out of it. I just talked to them, I assured them that I was with them and whatever, and I moved on. Roy also started to question Leah and Owen that week, which is why they went up the next week. Um, in week 6, when they both went up, I knew that I couldn't win veto because I didn't want to use it because I wanted one of them to go home. The problem was week 6, the one that I wanted to go home didn't go home. I really wanted Owen to go that week, and I know I went to a lot of people to try to get Leah to stay. um, I was like, look, like I know that Leah and I know each other in real life, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to work with her, which is true. I was not planning on working with her after that point. I just knew that if Owen made it any deeper into the game, that it was going to be harder and harder and harder to get him out, and I was right. Um, it's kind of all your all your guys' fault for not listening to me and not taking Leah along because Leah would have gotten herself out eventually. And I'm sorry I'm saying that, Leah, but it's true. Um, that and once the votes were sealed, I kind of started thinking, well, maybe I should reevaluate things because um, Leah told me before she was evicted, because we could kind of tell that she was going to be evicted because people weren't really taking on to the idea of um, keeping Leah around, that I worked with Austin. And I really liked that idea because Leah told me that um, he was a very socially liked player in this game, and he was not on anyone's radar. And if he won HOH next week, it would be good to be aligned with him because if I was the only one that he wasn't aligned with, I would become the target. So I decided that I would join up with Austin, and I knew that would mean also with Roy, which was fine because I knew that they would go after Owen, and that's what I wanted. But then I started thinking about it, and I was thinking, well, Austin is a big threat to me because he is playing all sides of this house, probably. That's why he's so liked socially. Um, and I couldn't have that because I wanted to play both sides of the house. So I made a Final Four deal with him, Roy, and Kyle, including myself, obviously. And I, it was real for a few minutes, and then I thought about it and didn't like it. But I also made a Final Four with Kyle, Eli, and Mikey that week. Um, so going into week 7, when Kyle won HOH, which was perfect, Owen was the main target, and then he won veto. Um, that's the week that I started working Adam to my side because he was put up as the replacement nominee next to Rebecca. And I'm pretty sure Rebecca thought I was going to keep her, but I ended up keeping Adam just because um, his chances of winning something were probably higher than hers, and I wanted to start making moves and deals with him. So I told him that I kept him the first time against Grace, which was true, and I kept him the second time against Rebecca, and I would have liked to work with him, and that's when I started really considering working with Owen. Um, week 8, I finally won something besides the veto as Lexi. And it was really important that I did because that's when I started breaking deals with people. So I broke the deal with Roy and Austin to protect my strategic game because I was worried that if I told them the truth and that I was against them really, they would go around the house and say I had a Final Four with them, and then Mikey and Eli would realize that my word was not good to them. So I knew I had to pick a side, and I knew that if I weakened Roy as much as I could that week, that my game would get a lot easier. So initially, Roy and Austin were the targets the entire time, and Austin was gone no problem. Um, and then when Roy won veto, my target switched to Kyle only because I knew if Kyle left that week, that I would be able to appeal to Roy as being alone. So we were both alone in the game. We both lost our allies. So if I went to him and told him that there are two power couples in this game, Owen and Adam, Mikey and Eli, he would be more willing to work with me, maybe not trust me fully, but definitely keep me safe. And that was a big thing because going into Final Six when I couldn't play in HOH, I needed as many friends as I could or as many potential allies as I could. Um, Also, by doing that, I definitely sealed a deal with Adam to keep him around and to keep him close. Of course, he left the next week, but I'll get into that. It sealed the 5 against 1 mentality against Roy and kind of put him in front of me, and then Owen also in front of me when I cut the deal with him to keep him safe. Um, then forcing the tie between Mikey and Kyle was also my idea for Owen to do because I knew Eli would evict Kyle, and it would look less badly on me because it wouldn't look like the blood was on my hands, but I've honestly owned up to Kyle about that whole thing in my jury video. So, but I think he kind of knew that I was behind it too. Um, so this leads into week 9 to the final 2. Owen was becoming a huge threat. It was exactly what I wanted. He was stepping in front of me, taking all the spotlight off of me and onto him. Um, I started working on Mikey to take me to Final 2 instead of Owen, and I was giving him good arguments like, he's gonna win. Your chance is better against me. And Roy said it best in his goodbye messages to us. He said, Dan and Mikey, as much as I don't like you, or we have problems, don't be stupid. And I think if any of us had taken Owen to Final Two, that would have been so stupid. Um, Also, Roy constantly winning veto, like, I hated it at the time, but it ended up being really good for me because it just made him a bigger target. It was Roy, and then Owen, and then me, and then the others were behind me. So that was good for me throughout the game, was him winning constantly and becoming a bigger and bigger target. Um, Evicting Eli was nothing personal. Like, I think he takes it personally, but I really wasn't. It was just that he just literally didn't talk to me about game, and I didn't know what to do. Um, After week 8, I felt like I was pretty in control of who went home every week because Owen and I switched HOHs every other week. Um, Owen trusted me, and that was his big fault. Um, I pretty much controlled Kyle's eviction and Austin's eviction, Adam's eviction because Owen put up his main ally, which was weird to me, but like, hey, it worked because he went home instead of Eli, so it was one less person that Owen could have taken to Final Two. Um, then moving on to after Adam was Eli, I already said he didn't talk to me. Roy, it was my single vote. He was always the target that week. Because I knew if he got into Final Three, our chances of beating him in the Final Three HOH was not good at all. And then my eviction of Owen was probably one of the best moves of the game because it gave me a fighting chance in this game. I knew taking Mikey over Owen would give me a much better chance of winning this game. Okay, so that was basically my game in a nutshell. Yeah, so now I will dissect Mikey's game and try to prove that I was better. Um, so Mikey and I didn't really talk that much when I was Lexi, so I don't really know what his game was week 1 through 4. I kind of got floater vibes from him right away, which isn't a bad thing. Like, if he was playing floater game, good for him, but it's just not how I play. I think I started talking to him more around the middle of the game, just because I felt bad not getting to know him as Lexi, so I tried to get to know him as Dan. And when I got to know him, I really liked him. He was really nice. He was an honest player, and I enjoyed talking to him. I know he had the deal with Leah, Owen, Adam, and Mikey, the Lunchables, or the Unworthy, whatever. But come to find out, he didn't really talk to them. So while they were an alliance, they weren't talking to each other. It was like a last second throw together. Um, what else did we do? I'm sorry, Mikey, I really don't want to bash you. But you really didn't do much. Week 8, I saved him, but that was my move, not his. He had a Final Four with Owen, Adam, Mikey, and Eli, but he never talked to Adam, so he was fine with evicting Adam that 1 week instead of, and like, keeping me off the block. So Mikey played a very honest, loyal game, and I do commend him for that, but he did not play as strategically as me. I can't name one thing that he did that was strategic in this game. He might have strategically aligned himself with big threats just to get to the end, but other than that, that's all I can think of. I clearly outlined everything that I did in this game. I hope I answered any questions anyone had. Thanks for this awesome question, Cole. This video is like 14 minutes long, but I hope everyone watches it. Okay, bye.